Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're back online. There we go. We are in a long here. Uh, we fair value gap above the 5 minute range. Looking to take out this candle's high. The news candle's high. Um, 302 is going to be our target. So we're front running that just a little bit. That is a deviation line um, that we didn't quite hit at the news candle. So looking for it to get up there. 302, we could move this up a little bit more, about 297 there. So we've got to give this fair value gap a chance to get hit or rebalanced before going higher. Uh, so we're going to give it the room that it needs. We do have this order block that was built right off of the open. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and come down below that order block. So there's a dip into the fair value gap, and we may add to the trade here. I want to see us get back above the 9 here. I did add 5 micros. Uh, I will add quite a bit more if we get back above the 9 here. That way we'll move our stop up since the fair value gap held. Look to go get that 3 deviation line. Closing there. And we're up $1,286 on the morning. All right, good deal. That was a good trade. Let me just show you real quick what I was thinking about here. Um, let me, just in case this audio is coming through, in case this audio is coming through, I just want to kick that off there. Um, all right, so we're up $1,286 on the morning, and here is why. Um, so these green lines up here are deviation lines. Well, where did I get those deviation lines from, right? Um, once we had the news candle pop, and before the market opened, we created this fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gap, right? So we came in uh, and tapped into the fair value gap at the open, uh, which was this 1 minute move, manipulation move down here. This swept below on the 1 minute and started moving up. Well, what I look at is the 15-minute chart. And basically, what we did before the market opened, just take that off. Uh, we had, a couple of swing lows on the 15-minute here. And we had this push down into the 15-minute 200, which swept some of these swing lows. And then we came up and we had the news candle that took the swing high, right? So I'm considering this the manipulation move. Okay. And what we do from a manipulation move is we take a deviation uh, fib and we go from the high of that. Oop, sorry, we go from the low of that because we're looking to the upside to the high of that deviation move. And that gives us our deviation lines. So before the market opened, I put in, our 3 deviation, 3.5, and a 4 deviation move because the news candle was so big. I was looking to trade to one of those levels. So then I just mark those out on the chart and I can take the deviation lines off and I have them set here. Okay. Um, so that's all I needed, right? Once I saw uh, this strong push up, you know, I got in, we made our I got in right around the top of the 5 minute range, and then we made our fair value gap outside of 5 minute range, and I added a little bit to the trade there, and then when we pulled back and came into that 1 minute fair value gap that should hold, and then we got a color change candle that closed back above the nine, then I just slammed into the trade, um, and we hit three deviation. So I didn't have to close the trade manually, but there is a limit on what I can make in a day in the evaluation, uh, a consistency rule here that I have to uh, pay attention to, right? So I, I didn't want, and I was in six minis at that point, so I didn't really want to go above that, and we did stay a couple $100 below it, so we're good. Hitting the three deviation line may have actually put us a little above the consistency rule there. So I'm glad I closed it when I did. We made our $1,200 there, and we will now be just kind of waiting and seeing what happens here. Um, so that account is taken care of for the day, um, and we won't have to uh, worry about that anymore. So really good trade for the day. Maybe our last trade for the day, um, just because we are reaching into those all-time high areas again. We'll wait and see what the morning brings. We did hit our three. Looks like we basically hit 3.5 dB, or no, 3.5 is here and 4 is here. So 3.25 on the deviations. We are holding below the three deviation line, so we could come back down and clean up some of this uh, low volume area and just kind of build in here today. Or, you know, maybe we reverse and come and clean up some of this single print low volume node here. So we'll have to see. Um, we're tapping into the value area highs. Uh, where's, well, that's above value area there. Uh, but we are tapping into uh, the highs of the volume profile for uh, the all-time high day over here, which we just went and just kind of snagged uh, barely the all-time highs from over here. Uh, so doesn't look like we haven't breached the all-time highs yet. We very well could today. Like I said, that with the news that we have, um, with inflation still coming down a little bit, even year over year, um, that's pretty much going to lock us in for another rate cut before the end of the year. I'm pretty sure. All the Fed members basically, said if the first rate cut didn't spike inflation and everything stayed pretty stable, that there would be another rate cut, or they would consider another rate cut before the end of the year. So, with that being the case, the, today's numbers uh, came out favorable for that. So, I think the market is liking that news and pretty much going to be counting on another rate cut plus earnings that have come out. Tesla beat their earnings. I'm going to take a quick look and see. Uh, I'm going to turn some audio back on here. Okay. Um, I want to take a look at it. I know y'all can't see it online, but that's all right. Um, no, not that. I wanted to see, because I know I think Microsoft came out yesterday, post market. Uh, let me see. Check my calendar here. Yeah, Microsoft was supposed to come out. Uh, oh, wait, no. Okay. So they postponed it. I had it written down for you yesterday, but looks like they've postponed it till 10/29. Uh, so, all right. So Microsoft did not come out. This is basically just, this is just CPI numbers. So, okay. Oh, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Uh, so, oh, yeah, we were on those charts. Okay, good. Just want to make sure I could clip that video in the beginning to show that trade. So I know I have to check I'm trying to get my voice voice settings. Actually, let me do this just in case. All right, let me just bring that volume down so that at least mine will override it. Um, I am trying to figure out the audio settings here where I can have uh, sound in my ears. Um, Actually, and I know how I need to do it. So I will get that fixed for tomorrow's stream. Actually, I should be able to just go ahead and do that now. So let's see. What is that one? Reasons on this one. I want to use that one for the audio.
Okay. So that'll work
That'll
out
work
really
out
well,
really well,
I think. And then I can hide this one. And y'all should not be able to hear what's in my ears now. So that should do it. But alright, so anybody just tuning in, I appreciate it. What I would love is for anyone to hit the like and subscribe button. I am looking into my living room because I have had to make sure that I've got what I'm supposed to have here. Alright, so let's see. It sounds good. No. Shit. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. That's horrible.
That is horrible. Okay, so I know this mic has horrible volume. Okay, so that works.
Here comes the money.
Okay, I think we've got that all set up, at least as best we can for the time being. Nope. Shit. This isn't gonna go. So let's kick this one off and see if that's better. Yeah, there we go. No echo. All right. Well, sorry for all of the audio problems this morning, folks. Um, so, just in case, oh, actually, I can do this to see. Okay. I don't think that was coming through from the desktop. So let's see if it does. So that will work if it goes through that. Awesome. Okay. Now we've got our now we've got it figured out. All right, everybody. Sorry for all the audio troubles. I'm just new to the streaming part. The audio is a little bit difficult when you're using different things, like wanting to hear uh, things on my screen um, without it coming through the stream audio. So we finally got that figured out. Um, now that now that we're um, got all that worked out, let me go back over everything so that I can uh, clip this part of the video to show everybody basically what happened this morning. Um, so we had our first 5 minute range. Obviously, we had a big news candle for CPI numbers today. Um, the market opened, we went down on the 1 minute chart and swept a couple of lows, and then we had our 5 minute range, and then we made a fair value gap. So I got in initially at the top of the 5 minute range um, in this uh, 935 candle. Um, then we made the fair value gap. I added to the trade a little bit there. Um, then when we came down, we got into that fair value gap, and then we got a uh, color change candle that closed back above the 9 there, and I slammed into the trade at that point. My target was at 47,302. Um, so when I slammed into back into the trade here, I was in 6 minis looking for 302 right up here. And in this candle here, I closed the trade before we got to it because I was fearful of going above the consistency rule. I can't make more than about $1,500 in any one day on this eval, and we closed the trade at $1,286. So
Here comes the money.
the little talk I had with myself yesterday obviously helped out this morning. Um, we've got our 15-minute chart up with our volume profiles, um, and that definitely helped. Um, but and basically what happened is on the news we made this 15-minute fair value gap, and that little first push down at the open on the 930 candle is where we tapped into that, and then we went up and in that area made our 5 minute range, broke above the 5 minute range, and then started pushing up again, uh, up in this area, right? So we're looking for these green lines here for targets. And I was able to add to the first trade enough to where I didn't have to worry about getting up to these other lines. We made all of our profit right there. Excuse me. So um, everyone might be wondering, well, what are those lines? They're deviation lines. And there's a real good way to tell, how far the market can go if certain things happen, right? So what I'm looking at is from 2 o'clock in the morning down into uh, the first hour of the London session, we fell off and we took out a couple of swing lows in this area. And then we came back up and, we didn't break that high until the news candle. Um, but we did end up breaking this high here. So this would be my manipulation move, okay? Um, and I would look at that uh, to draw my deviation lines, right? So if we take a deviation fib and we go from the bottom to the top of that manipulation move, you will see we're at three, 3.5, and 4 deviations. Those are the lines I drew. Now, depending on the size of my trade, I may have wanted to try to get to the 3.5, or maybe even tried to get to the 4, which on the news candle that we had, I think we could actually do. Okay. Um, but all I needed to do, so we could take once I have these up, I just place lines at the 3, 3.5, 4. Those are basically the deviation lines that I'm typically looking for out of a 15-minute manipulation move. Okay. Um, so I can take the deviations back off and just have my target line sitting there. And we did hit, obviously, the 3 deviation because the news candle didn't quite get to 3 deviations. But the market did like the news, right? Because we created the 15-minute fair value gap. So I wanted to see how we get to that deviation move, and the higher time frame, not the lower time frames, showed me when we tapped into the fair value gap and then got this buy wick and broke above the last previous 15-minute candle, that we were moving up to at least take out the news candle high, and the 3 deviation wasn't very far above that. So I was very confident in getting to the 3 deviations there. So, um, and I'm just listening to it in my ears. So, um, weekly, daily, 4-hour charts first, 15-minute, 1 or 2 minute charts for trading. Um, you know, I have no more 5-minute charts. I wrote all this on my whiteboard, right? So we're back on track. Um, and it feels really good when I realize that I am actually um, that I'm actually following my process again. And yeah, it's one day, but it works. You know, before this, the last couple of weeks, I mean, I've been struggling to make $300-400 a day, and it was just killing me. But when I look at the market in the correct way, it it just works better for me. You know, this is the way I trade. I don't expect anybody else to trade this way. Um, but this is how I trade. So uh, good day here, and obviously that account is done. Um, may even be done for the day now. Just we're up here. Well, I think actually we broke. Did we just break the all-time highs? Yeah, we just broke. We just broke the all-time highs. Um, you know, we may consolidate around up here for a little bit, maybe, or we may even uh, get up to our 4 deviation line. So just going to kind of watch the 15-minute charts from here, since we did sweep the all-time highs. Um, do we move up to uh, the 3.5 or 4 deviation lines on the next 4-hour candle? So again, just watching our 15-minute chart uh, for that information, right? So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, and I want to get a little bit more volume profile in. Um, yeah, so we are building some good volume up here in this area. Um, no, our value area is pretty wide at the moment. Um, let's see. Yeah, we've got lots of volume up here, so the value area has definitely moved up. Uh, yeah, in the overnight session, this was our value area. We've single printed on the news. We've never broken back down to clear those single prints, at least not yet. Um, and we're building up here. So I could see this come back down a little bit and clean up some more of this area. Maybe even come down and clean up some more of this area. Uh, so, we've got a very small fair value gap up here. Then we've got this low volume node here. Okay. Um, a lot of buy volume, very little sell volume right there. So if we come down and rebalance that gap into this high volume, high volume buy area, uh, we could be looking to go back long from there. So, but again, obviously this account is done. We still have our uh, Tradeify account we're trying to pull back, um, and we also have a Top One Futures account to trade, but we're probably going to leave that until next week. This is Friday. If you make 1,200, almost $1,300 on a Friday, you probably should just call it a day. Um, so, so I'm gonna leave the charts on. I'm gonna be here for a while. But I'm gonna kind of be watching a few other things. Uh, I will keep my eyes on the chart for sure. Yeah, I mean our 15-minute point of control is just jumped right up to here. So this is now the highest volume area of the day so far. Uh, we still have more volume down here in this range, but that's to be expected because a lot of trading was done there. But the session volume profile point of control is right up here. Now, I run my session volume profiles from 6 p.m. Uh, to 4:30 p.m. Okay, so this starts on the 23rd and it'll run all the way through today's session. I just want to see all the sessions, right? Um, I can run one from uh, just two. So if I go and take, where is it? Fixed range volume profile, and I run it from 9:30. It won't let me go past the current candle. Um, but let's just say, let's take that off, remove that. If we go back to yesterday's session, and we take a fixed range of volume profile, and we run it from 9:30 to 4:30, that will give us yesterday's New York session volume profile. Okay, and we could use that. The overnight was flirting with breaking out, broke out again. We came back into yesterday's volume profile, into this low volume node. We didn't get into it. And then we started moving up, and we broke out of yesterday's value area high, and then we had the news candle that just went ballistic. So, you know, I will also put on, a New York session volume profile. Um, and of course, you have the overnight volume profile for the next day here. So you just kind of have to, you know, figure it out and know what you're looking at. Right? So, and then this over here is our visible range volume profile, which just looks at what is on the chart. So anytime I move the chart, zoom in, zoom out, put more price action there, this is going to change, which is useful when you're kind of looking at the larger picture. Um, and that's basically how I look to trade using ICT concepts such as the fair value gaps on the 15-minute, 15-minute order blocks, things like that, to watch my trades as well. So we're back, we're back, we're back in the swing of things. So yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna take a quick break, everybody. I will be back shortly.
Hey, DJ!
Got biscuits. Still got plenty. Yeah. If you feel like cooking. All right, everybody. Just kind of been leaving the charts up here for a little bit. Yeah, we could pop again. London, London close going on. We could pop again, get up here a little bit higher. But I'm really not interested in taking any more trades today. Um, just we did what we needed to do uh, for the day, and even though it's just one account, that's fine. I only have 3 accounts working at the moment, so I'm more than happy to, you know, uh, move those around a bit and not trade every account every day. So yeah, that's that's what I'm liking. I think we probably do get one more pump. Maybe we get up to that 4 standard deviation. Um, that's about 60, 70 points from the 3.5. So that's certainly doable. So we had our fair value gap, we had our fair value gap, we had our rebalance, and we can now move up a little bit. Maybe hit 3.5, maybe come back down, hit fair value gap, go back up, or we just get our third push here, uh, up to 4 standard deviations from there. I wouldn't expect to be getting much more than that. Oh, what the hell? No. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not watching Lumi. Alright. So we're just gonna close all that down. Already done. Okay. So anyway, good way to end of the week. We will be back on a couple of times during the weekend to do our chart markups and a couple other things, and be back Monday morning for the next live session. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you wouldn't mind, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and throw in a comment.